eve of the 50th commemoration of the death in detention of Islamic cleric as well as freedom fighter in South Africa, Imam Abdullah Haron, the Western Cape government along with the Western Cape Heritage Authorities have declared the Al-Jamia Mosque in Claremont as a heritage site, and also the grave site where the late Imam is buried. He's also been declared as a provincial heritage site. Now this of course comes as a campaign is still ongoing by the family and trust of the Haron family for an inquest to be reopened into his death in detention in 1969. But joining me is Professor Imam Haron, the son of the late Imam. Firstly, if I can ask you, Prof, in terms of the declaration of this mosque being declared a provincial heritage site as well as his grave site, what does this mean to you as the family?
Well, to us as a family it means much, partly based on the fact that, previously it was never recognized in this way, although the community knew what he had done. But I think specifically for us as a family, I think it's a great honor, and on behalf of the community, of course, it is indeed an honor.
We also understand that there is a process to requesting the government, if one will, to reopen the inquest into your father's death in detention. Can you give us an indication as to how far that process is and where to from here?
Well, at the moment we are still unclear, but that request had been made, and so in a sense we are just waiting for a response from the national government, from Ministry of Justice, to basically give an indication. As you might know, that others have been opened or will be opened, so in a sense it might follow some of those, but as yet we can't give you any definite answer.
We've also understood from Minister Andrew Murray just now, provincial authorities here, that the heritage status will not impact on the cultural and practices here at the mosque as well as at the gravesite. This is something that has been welcomed by those that have gathered here.
No, indeed. I think sometimes, as we all know, that with heritage site, it's sort of basically becomes a no-go area where you have to follow the rules and regulations. But I think because of the nature of the grave and other aspects to it, there's been a degree of or space of negotiations of sorts in order to see that it falls within the cultural or the religious cultural dimensions without transgressing them. So I think that in itself is extremely welcome.
Thank you very much. Of course, Professor Haron is speaking to us on this day where this mosque, Al-Jamia Mosque in Claremont, has been declared as a provincial heritage site. Of course, this being the site where the late Imam Haron would have taught, would have preached his message of reconciliation, to preach basically his opposition, vehement opposition to apartheid and the injustices brought about by that system. And now heritage state is afforded to this mosque and also to the gravesite where the late Imam is buried. Of course, he was arrested then in May in 1969, and on the 27th of September of that year died in police custody. And as Professor Haron has just explained to us, the family is still awaiting confirmation of whether or not an inquest into his death will be reopened.